Hello and welcome back to today's video. I'm going to show you the entire process of start to finish, how I create art on multiple sketchbook at the same time. And in this case, I am using three different sketchbook, but not just that. I have split the page into multiple section so that I actually have eight different artwork to show off today. So the first thing I did is decide my supply for the background. I usually work either watercolor or acrylic for my background, independent of the sketchbook, of the paper, and just will feel on the day. And then I am trying to work quite intuitively. So what I'm doing is placing down a blob of the color that I wish to see in that section. And then I'm just going around with my brush and I start to create brush stroke. I'm not really thinking through, there is the tape in between, but I am contaminated one page with the other paint. And if there is something to notice here, guys, is I'm not really washing my brush in between pages. I try to bring the extra paint from one section to another where I think it could use a little bit more of that color. And yes, keep doing this. It means that sometimes you will end up with a bit of a muddy page. If this is a problem for you, absolutely wash the brush and keep going with just the color you wish to have. But for me, it's not a problem because I see this as just a first layer. And actually, sometimes I prefer when I don't like the first layer too much, because what will happen is you get attached to your background and you don't want to move forward, afraid you will ruin it. And here you see me adding extra color because once my background is done with the original color, then I can step back and think I would like to have some more yellow here, or I would like to have some more blue in this case. So I do add extra color on top where I feel that it needs. Like I had some gold on the first square, I had the yellow and I had blue, and I'm moving back and forth fast between sketchbook. Remember, it's just the first layer, don't get too attached. You will keep working on top, and with art, the job is not complete until you see so. You can keep adding paint on top, especially with acrylic, they're quite forgiving. You can really 100 times keep changing your mind on what you want to see and keep adding and taking out. And this is what it looks like after just the first layer. It doesn't look like much, it just looks like a bunch of color placed on a paper. But yeah, here is where everything begins. Now everything is dry, and here I have some acrylic wash, and I realized that I felt these two background were a bit too dark, and I wanted to have a touch of light on it. So I'm using my palette knife to just spread the white in between pages, and I'm not really thinking through too much. Action is what matters. The fun thing, here you see me using some oil pastel now, and the fun thing is there is tape in between each sketchbook page, and because I place acrylic on top, I don't really see anymore where my tape edges are, which makes it so much more interesting, because I have no control over what it will look at the end. I can see what it looks right now, but once I remove the tape, we may be missing some parts that we thought we created, or we may have an extra special look. So stay tuned until the end, because removing the tape is absolutely the best part, and it will change everything on what you see. After working a little bit with oil pastel and making some marks where I thought it would need it, I'm switching to a Neocolor one and creating extra marks. I really like this salmon color. It really adds something special. And as you see, I keep moving between one page and the other. I am selecting one color, and instead of focusing on just one page and keep changing my supply, I try to have a general look of where the color is needed again and again. So I'm choosing one supply and I'm moving back and forth between pages, whatever I think that it needs, until I'm satisfied and I am moving to a different one. And honestly, here the mark don't really matter. What matter is the color choice, the color selection, because here what I'm thinking is, okay, this page it needs some more yellow, this page needs some more blue, and which shade of blue it needs. And I do like to place my mark from the outside towards the inside. You see, the first mark represents a sort of a frame on my page, and then as I am sort of confident with the job done, I am moving towards the inside. Like in this case, I have a lovely Neocolor one framing the page, and then I'm going with this gold pen to give accent to the inside. This is the phase where I'm adding my focus point. So here I'm working one page at a time, because I have to focus on that square or rectangle or whatever, and think of what this page is telling me, what the focus point should be, and what I need to create inside. And as you will see, some it just call me for a botanical piece that I usually am very drawn to, but there are a couple of squares here that for me are just like a pure landscape. For example, in this case, I saw the moon. There was this touch of yellow there, and really make me think of the moon. So I had to create a moon, star, and it fell on the bottom like there was a reflection of light, and I just increase this detail so that it looks like a landscape, even if it really is not originally. And here is the same thing. There was this little mark on the background and really look like a boat that is trying to get through some mountains on each side, and I just exaggerate that, and I'm using the supply I think I need to create the concept. So I'm not an expert artist, so the concept may not come out perfect, but yeah, you strive to go there. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to make you happy. If a painting makes you happy, you reach your goal. And here I am moving again back and forth, adding more marks because I thought it wasn't complete yet. And now I'm moving to this page that initially I wasn't really impressed with, and I thought I could not really savage them. But yeah, as I said before, a painting is not complete until you say so. So if you're not happy with something, it may just mean that it needs extra marks. And this is what I did in this case. I decided to go with a floral for the center, but I needed a bright touch, so I went with the neon yellow color. And then I felt like this neon color should be called back in the frame as well, in my background. So this I did, and went with some metallic pen to accentuate. Here I'm using instead an acrylic marker to create the idea of a flower. So I'm creating just line without filling the gap, so that I can see my background coming through. And yeah, that's all I'm doing. Keep creating, keep making mark until I am satisfied. I do love when the background filters through, so I always try not to cover completely with my focus point. So for me, there has to be a background, there has to be a mark, as many mark as you like, and then there has to be a focus point, because I always feel like the eyes of the viewer has to settle somewhere, otherwise it may feel a bit too busy, a bit too anxiety inducing. So I feel it's very relaxing when there is a focus point and the eyes can just relax and start from a place and then move around. And it's finally time to remove that tape. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I love to do so. I love to do mark making, and I love to create on multiple sketchbook, because it really makes me feel like I am using my supply, and I love what I'm doing. I will give you an up close of every single one of them, so wait for that, and let me know down in the comment if there is any of these painting that speaks to you and why you think that is. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.